Blurb 4, SI, Fundamental Quantities and Base Units. A review of last time is the section of the chart for the SI measurement system. In the SI measurement system, the fundamental quantities are mass, length, and time. And the fundamental units of those quantities are the kilogram, meter, and seconds in that respective order. Now, since mass, length, and time are fundamental, which means the quantities are have defined units, all other quantities must be a combination of two or more of these three fundamental quantities. As such, their units are derived rather than defined, because everything comes from these three defined units. And the reason it is two or more is because if it were one, it would be indeed one of these three, mass, length, or time. They're the only ones with a single fundamental unit. Okay, now speed is speed, which is indicated by the letter V, is a quantity that is not fundamental. It is a function. In other words, it's made up of two of the three fundamental quantities, length, which is distance, and time. The formula of definition would be that speed is equal to distance over time, which is the same thing as length over time. And in letter forms, it could be V equals D over T. Now, whenever a new quantity of physics is introduced, it must be made up of only the three fundamental quantities. Of course, it could be made up of two, as we stated before, and as speed is. And as a general statement, we say all non-fundamental quantities must be functions of mass, length, and time, with the understanding that it could be two of the three rather than all three. Okay, now this brings us to the very important topic of base units. What do we mean by base units? Well, when fundamental units are substituted in a formula of definition of a physics quantity, that combination of units is then said to be the base unit of that new quantity. So we take, for the example, speed again. Speed is distance divided by time. Or in formula form could be V equals D over T. Now the fundamental unit of distance or length is a meter in the SI system. And the fundamental unit of time is seconds. So the base unit of speed must be meters per second, or in abbreviated form, M over S. So now if we review that table we had in the first place, the SI measurement system, the fundamental quantities are mass, length, and time. But now we might as well call the fundamental units base units for these three. And that way we don't have a separation of terms between fundamental and base. So all the units are based on these three, kilogram, meter, and seconds. So we call them base units. And the thing that makes this fairly easy for students is that there is only one base unit for each quantity of physics in any particular measurement system. So in the SI system, there is one speed unit, meters per second, and that is the base unit. Of course, we can measure speed in other units, non-base units. Speed can be measured in kilometers per hour, for instance. But that doesn't change what the base unit is. And it will be necessary, in order to solve physics problems, to know base units of each quantity.